It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Namaste and welcome to the Divas That Care Network. I'm your host, Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you are listening to Above the Ground podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, our network is going into its 15th year and is listened to in over 30 countries. I'd like to personally thank you for giving me the gift of your time whenever you happen to be listening to this, because it is my honor to hold and share this space with you. And today, going further down our road of spring cleaning, we are going to go from the body with our detox for twisting to the mind. And we're going to go through a meditation that is essentially all about release and letting go of that which no longer serves. Think of it as a spring cleaning for your energy and maybe even a little bit of recognition on what it is that you may need to release. So a lot of times, if you think about your mind as a closet, right, or your home, and we always say that, if you have a messy closet or if you have a messy house, it's a reflection of this disorder in your mind. So I think that's a pretty easy image for people to kind of wrap their minds around, no pun intended. And so if you think about for me, I kind of go in cycles. So, sometimes I'm very organized. And then if I start to get a little bit frayed at the edges with life, or my to-do list gets a little long, or my appointments get out of control, then my home starts to suffer. And at that, so my closet might get a little bit disorganized, or, there might be a little extra corgi floof on my floor. That definitely happens more often than not. So, it all starts with you, right? And your home is a reflection around you. Your relationships can be a reflection of yourself, depending on, what you believe, and kind of the universe showing up in ways to help you learn and grow to your highest potential. And oftentimes things that are challenges are actually reaching out for us to pay attention to, calling our attention, and hopefully in a way that we're able to learn from, progress beyond, and kind of come to some sort of acceptance or conclusion with. And hopefully that acceptance and conclusion is for our highest best good, and then allows us to move forward in our development and progress in our lives towards, our grand fulfillment, whatever that may be. And everybody is different. But, as going back to the closet or the space that you surround yourself with, reflecting, the state of your mind, I like to talk about, the idea of purging a closet. So we're talking about spring cleaning. We're talking about, getting rid of things that no longer serve. And so as you start to unpack your closet, I'm sure everyone's seen memes on Instagram of like, it always kind of gets worse before it gets better. You sit kind of in the midst of all of the things that were tucked and stuffed back, or fell off a hanger and dropped in the back, and maybe they're covered in dog hair. I know sometimes that happens for me. Maybe they're a wrinkled mess, whatever it might be. You have to pull all of that stuff out of your closet before you can start to put it back in a conscious, hopefully somewhat organized fashion, so that when you walk into that space, it's clear. Things are in alignment, literally, whether, you organize by color, by work versus going out, by, however you best set yourself up for a sense of ease. And that's the goal with our mind. So when we have a lot going on, which, let's face it, everybody does, when we have so much going on that we start to throw things into our mind, like all the tabs on your computer that you leave open, all the things that you plan to get to, and then by the end of the day, you're exhausted, and, the bra comes off and the feet go up, and, you just can't. You just stop being able to do the things at a certain point. And then that stuff in the closet starts to pile up, and you look at it and you go in there and you go, oh God, I can't deal with that. Oh my God, I can't possibly face that. Okay, this is going to just have to go until later. I can't deal with that. So when our closets start to look like that, or when our minds start to look like that, especially our minds, it can create a sense of disturbance in our ability to fulfill, to create, to be our best version of ourselves. Because I like to use this metaphor of the closet, because think about the time, for example, that it will take for you to find an outfit to wear. If you are disorganized and let's say you have piles of clothing, or let's say you even have dry cleaning and it's clean and it's fresh, but it's still in the bags and you didn't actually get to put it away. And so instead of just being able to walk in, look, say, that's what I'm going to wear today, or maybe you're organized enough that you did it the night before, when you have to take the extra time to sift through all of the things that you're not recognizing or not bringing into your conscious reality to get to the one thing that you need, that is time and energy that is wasted repetitively, and it sucks the life out of you. And so recognizing that, and I love to use that closet metaphor, even better, a laundry basket metaphor, like, or your socks, like you're just trying to pair two of the same socks. And inevitably, in a pile of laundry that you have yet to fold or put away, you are going to find 8 different socks, none of which match. And you're going to waste 5 minutes scuffling through that laundry basket that should have been folded and put away. And, shout out to the ADHD or ADD people, who recognize and understand this. Maybe less so for the OCD people who have all of their socks balled and, categorically organized, to each their own. And there is no right or wrong, but there is an element of recognition where your own avoidances, your own kind of procrastination, let's say, your own, okay, well, I can't do it today, I will get to it when I get to it. There's an element always with forgiving yourself. There's an element of holding yourself in a safe space, not beating yourself up for it. But there's also an element where, there's responsibility. There is recognition of the problem and thus taking an action, even if it's even if it's balling one pair of socks, that's a step, right? Like, even if it's folding one piece of clothing in that laundry basket, even if it's unwrapping that dry cleaning and just putting it in the closet out of the bag so you can actually see it. Even if it's just pulling everything out of the closet and putting it in a pile that you can sift through, there always is one initial step. And what I like to say to a lot of people, and I say this to myself all the time, is when things become overwhelming, and this is true at life, and I didn't coin this by any means, you have to start with just one thing, one accessible thing. And something that's really helped me, and a lot of times when I face a mental block, there's no actual block there. It's just my mind creating this, like, I'm not going to do this, or I can't do this, or, it's within you, that block. So, one of the things that makes it a little easier for me when there are things that I'm resisting, it's all about resistance, is looking at the time it takes to do the action rather than the action itself. So let's say it takes you, for example, 10 minutes to fold your laundry and 5 minutes to put it away. Let's even say 10 and 10. That's 20 minutes. Okay. So instead of looking at it as, oh my gosh, I have like this huge pile of laundry and I have to get through all of it, just fold it. Just do one thing. Can't fold it? That's too overwhelming. Just ball the socks. Just fold your bras. Just fold your pants, whatever it may be. Break it down into accessible chunks so that you're able to move forward and be proud of yourself for meeting yourself where you are. Overwhelm, body, mind, spirit can be very, very challenging, and let's talk about the body for a moment. We talked about detoxing with twists. I know that for a lot of people who are starting a health or wellness journey, maybe they feel a little bit not great about their bodies. Maybe they're facing a wall of, well, I'd go to the gym, but I don't feel confident enough to lift weights, or I don't feel confident enough. It's about a level of confidence, right? And so, if you take that one step. So, okay, maybe you're not ready to do that, but are you ready to just go for a walk around your house? Are you ready to maybe, choose, start to pay attention to what you're putting into your body? And is there something that disagrees with you that you continue to indulge in anyway? And maybe can you eliminate just one thing? This rule applies, or can be applied to pretty much anything in life. Just break everything down into accessible pieces. And like I said, time for me works. It's a lot easier for me to say, I have 10 minutes. It takes me 10 minutes to vacuum or Swiffer. I have 10 minutes. Okay, so maybe I don't really feel like vacuuming, but I have 10 minutes. I can do that thing. So that's just a little swap, a little trick, a little mind melt that I use on myself for those of you who tend to procrastinate or resist doing certain household chores. And it goes back to the meditation that we're going to get into momentarily. So this meditation is, do you have 10 minutes? Can you make 10 minutes? Can you start to unpack the garbage of your mind, the wrinkled pair of old jeans that you hope to fit back into, tucked into the back of your closet that your dog or cat may or may not have curled up in because they smell like you from 10 years ago? Do you have 10 minutes to do this for yourself? Can you sit down and begin to quiet and receive? Receptivity when it comes to meditation is huge. There's all different types of meditation. I've talked about this, and I'm going to give a shout out to my other wonderful diva that cares, Joyce Benning, and her Robust Lifestyles podcast, which I've been a frequent visitor and guest on for the past year. We've talked about meditation, the different types, the different kinds. Mantras, affirmations, silencing by just focusing on the breath. There are many different types of meditations, but as you begin to develop your practice, you will begin to realize that you start to drop into stillness a little bit more easily, a little more quickly, a little more consistently with a consistent and it doesn't have to be like the same time every day. That's wonderful if it is, but with an element of progression based on your consistency with your meditation practice, you will begin to drop in more gently and you will begin to receive. And once you begin to enter a state of receptivity in meditation where you created the stillness already, that you can begin to, if you want to use the word channel, it can be a little bit sticky for some people, but if you want to start receiving guidance, receiving, higher self, we talked about with our guiding light meditation. If you want to consider it a channel, that's one way to think about it. If you want to consider it source, God, the Holy Spirit, again, I don't want to, this is supposed to be accessible for everyone and anyone. So inner voice, higher self, whatever it is that you may be or believe in, to begin to create a safe space, and that is going to come into play as well, a safe space to receive from as you drop into your meditation, silence your mind, and enter that space of receptivity. And why that's important is because a lot of times we are our own worst enemy. And when it comes to cleaning out the closet of our mind, spoiler alert, our mind is really good at tricking us, and we may not know what the best thing is to cleanse, clear, donate, get rid of, tuck away, or reorganize, right? There's a lot of different layers, like Shrek, right? So there's a lot of different layers to our mental, emotional, etheric states. And so once we start to tap in, sometimes what we think we might want to release or let go of may not be the thing that we need to for in that moment or for our best progress. And the reason that I kind of say it like that is because when you think about, like let's say you're cleaning out your closet and you have a block of donation because not because you don't want to support or give, but because you may want that item, like that dress that you love that you haven't fit into, or those pairs of jeans. Everybody's got the skirt or the jeans or the one thing that they've been saving since like high school or college or whenever, that their goal, whatever, to get back into, if you maybe outgrown it in whatever capacity you may have outgrown it, or even maybe you bought something that you really loved. Like I have a skirt from #anthropology, shout out, that I love that I never fit into. It was a little size too small when I bought it, and I loved it so much, and I've had it for let's see now, 5 years, 6 years. I may or may not ever get into it, but I'm hanging on to that because I loved it so much. It was so beautiful that it's an inspiration for me. Something like that, you may want to keep as an inspiration. Now, it may be harder to let go of. And maybe if you meditate, the universe is going to tell you time to let go of that beautiful skirt because we have a ball gown for you and it's just the right size. So, there's an element of that at play, right? I just recently tried on a pair of stilettos that I don't wear stilettos anymore because they're bad for my knees. They're bad for where my body is. And I know that. And I tried them on anyway. And I put them on, I was like, yeah, these gotta go, right? I've been hanging on to them. They gotta go. So when it comes to this, because they're not serving me and they're beautiful and I barely ever wore them, so they could easily serve someone else. So when we're talking about our mind, coming from a place of entering a receptive state may or may not for you allow you, if your intention for this particular meditation is to ask the universe, source, higher self, inner guide, whatever it is, what I need to release. What is the most beneficial for me in this time, in this space, in this moment to release so that I can move on with grace, with receptivity, in openness, in availability to receive higher and better things in my life. And the answer may surprise you. You may think you need to let go of something and you may receive something entirely different. And so we want to create the safe space to do that. So I'm going to give a little bit of guidance before we get into the meditation itself. And I can only guide you so far because this is one of those things that you have to receive. Everybody's different on their own. So when we talk about meditation, we talk about deeper states of meditation, not simply, the mantra, the affirmation, the breath where you're focusing on something and only focusing on the silence. This is going to be a step beyond that. So much like the guided meditation that I did the last time, the guiding light meditation, this is going to be a little bit similar, but we're going to try to create our safe space that we go to every time we meditate. Once our mind becomes still, we see ourselves in this safe space. So for me, I will share a bit about my safe space. It's got a kind of turquoisey blue overtone to it. It's a very calming, peaceful energy. And one of the most important things that you want to have in your safe space is some element of ground. You want to ground into this place as you enter your meditation, and you want to ground back into your body from this place as you come out of your meditation. So grounding is very important. So this space has to have a grounding aspect. Mine has a willow tree. Maybe a tree is very, very, very good for this because it has roots. It goes into the ground. I've mentioned this before. Maybe it was, again, on one of my collaborations with Joyce and Robust Lifestyles. But I like to think of your feet kind of touching the ground and your back leaning into this tree. And that's a really great place to start. And you let it unfold for you with whatever it may look like in your mind's eye. Again, this is practicing with that aspect of visualization and receptivity, allowing things to come to you in a safe, protected space. So one of the things that you always want to say to yourself when you come into any meditation is, I am surrounded by a white light. I am surrounded by, a violet flame. There are a lot of things that you want to make sure that I am protected, surrounded by light and love, and I am safe in this moment, in this meditation. I am guided, I am protected. These are things that you want to say to yourself as you enter a meditation. Once you come into that place of your safe space and you see it kind of surround you, again, whether it's a tree, you could use a boulder or a rock if that resonates with you. You can have water there. However, I want to be a little bit specific that water is a very fluid energy. It's a beautiful energy and it's a very transformative energy, but much like fire, it's not a particularly grounding energy. So I encourage you to have some form of earth in the energy. Earth, wood, rock, stationary things that you associate with. And again, hopefully they will show up for you. But definitely, if you're new to this, a tree with its roots, a boulder, a very heavy boulder, a safe structure in the ground, whatever comes to you that is connected deeply into the earth, into the ground, is a great place to start. And so once you're there, then you can start to, set your intention at the beginning and start to receive and see what comes to you. So you want to come into your safe place. You're going to set that up for yourself. You're going to cultivate that. And that can be its own meditation in and of itself. So I want to set us up for that because for this, we're going to lead us through what we need to release, but we need to have a safe place to do that. You need to have a closet to be able to clean it out, right? So we're going to start from there. Have kind of an idea in your mind. Maybe you already have a safe space. Great. Maybe, something's starting to come together for you now. And so I encourage you to kind of run with that. And as always, I'm not going to leave you hanging in the meditation. So there will be periods of silence, but I do encourage you to just be in the moment and allow from a place of receptivity. So now that I've kind of prepped and primed us for what we can expect for this cleaning out the closet detox meditation, I want you to begin to set yourself up comfortably. Again, for meditations like this, laying down is fine. Whenever you go into deeper meditations, while one of my personal favorites is legs up the wall, I do encourage feet to be on the ground for, you know, more in-depth receptive meditations, just because again it helps with that grounding sensation, whether you're seated on a pillow with, in a traditional meditation seat, with maybe your knees slightly lower than your hips in a cross-legged position, if that's comfortable and attainable for you. If you are like me, I prefer to lie down and meditate. I don't know why, I always have. You want your chakras in alignment, and a lot of times rooting into the earth with the root chakra at the base of the pelvis is traditional for that, with the crown chakra up towards the heavens, if you will, or the sky. But also, at least your chakras are still in alignment if you are reclined and laying down. And again, taking your knees together with your feet slightly wider, and letting the knees rest in with the feet grounded, I think it's a great way to practice this meditation. And so I encourage you to come into that position as well. And so hopefully now you've had a few moments to set yourself up comfortably from wherever you are. And we're going to begin. So from your comfortable and restful place, begin to lower your gaze or close your eyes. And gently begin to deepen your breathing. And feel the breath flow all the way down into all the points of contact between yourself and the earth beneath you. And truly begin to feel grounded and supported in that connection. And take a moment to visualize yourself in whatever position you're currently in, surrounded by a brilliant light. Say out loud or think to yourself, I am safe. I am present in this moment. I am divinely protected and I am divinely guided. In this space, only good can surround me. In this space, I am one with the vibration of love and light. And as you soften into this vibration, begin to relax your breathing and start to feel the space around you. Is it warm? Do you feel the light surrounding you? With your mind's eye, if you look just within your field of vision, what shows up for you? Do you see your tree? Do you see the support of a large boulder? With a safe and comfortable place to recline against. Can you feel yourself supported by this strong and steady structure. Can you feel your feet rooting into the earth? Is it mossy? Is there grass? Maybe there's sand. Begin to feel rooted and safe in the support of the space around you. And in this safe space, ask for what you need to release in this moment. Did an image come immediately into your mind? Did you hear a name? Breathe here for a few moments. Do you feel an emotion washing over you? Is there a place in your body where you feel any sensation? Gently bring your hands to that place. Breathe in to your hands, holding the image in front of you with your mind's eye. Say thank you. I am clear. I now release and remove all ties with what no longer serves me. And I am safe and will move forward from this moment with grace. Continue to breathe into your hands, still placed on the part of your body where you felt a sensation. Notice what happens after these words have been uttered. Has the image dissolved? Has it disappeared? Is it still there? If there's still a part of you holding on, say to yourself, I forgive myself and I forgive what has brought harm to me, or what it no longer serves me to cling to. I forgive myself for the fear surrounding this release. I forgive myself to any unhealthy attachment to what most needs to be released. And I trust fully and completely in my safety without this attachment. Continue to breathe into your hands, into the space on your body where you felt sensation. Say or hear the words coming from you. I trust myself fully and completely to thrive in the absence of what I once held so tightly to. Hear yourself say, thank you for freeing my soul. With an exhale, remove your hands from the place on your body you felt the initial sensation and allow them to rest comfortably at your sides, palms facing up as you continue to breathe. Notice the sensation in that space in your body now. What do you feel there? What do you see around you with your mind's eye in your safe space? Knowing that you are free of this attachment. Begin to feel a sense of peace. Begin to feel the warmth of the light that surrounds you. Hear yourself or speak aloud. I am whole. I am safe. I am free from this attachment. And begin to see yourself once again comfortably supported by your tree, by your boulder, by this space of safety, which is always available to you. Feel its strength behind your back. Feel the ground beneath your toes. And as you begin to bring your awareness back into your body, thank yourself. Thank yourself for this freedom. Thank yourself for this peace. Thank the light within you for showing you the truth and the way. Begin to deepen your breathing. Send the breath all the way in to your fingers and toes. Feel the strong support of the floor beneath you. And ground your back into that support. As you visualize the protective light around you, feeling its warmth, knowing that you are safe within your body and in this present moment. Gently begin to open your eyes. Take your time bringing yourself out of this meditative state. If it helps you to journal what came through for you, please do so safely when you've risen. And know that you can repeat this meditation as many times as you need, with progress being made at each turn, until you feel as though the entire closet of your mind reflects a pure, beautiful state with which you are supported, loved, and no energy is wasted. I thank you so much and appreciate each and every one of you for sharing your space with me. And so please feel free to share the same with your loved ones. For more goodness, follow me on all the socials at Above the Ground Podcast, or visit my website, airsaboveyoga.com. And as always, check out all of the other amazing hosts on Divas That Care Network. You can find us at divasthatcare.com, SoundCloud, Spotify, Odyssey, Apple, or anywhere else you may feel guided to listen. Again, my name is Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you're listening to Above the Ground Podcast, where every day is a good one.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, And of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.